My husband and I decided to bring our two kids to Disney World for 4 days now that they're old enough to appreciate it. My husband and I are not in the best of shape, so we decided to invite his sister and her husband along with us as we had 2 separate rooms. We assumed we would spend time in the parks together since it was, after all, a family vacation. On the first day in the park, we all did a few attractions together, but then when we went to bring the kids to meet some characters, she said she and her husband had other things in the park they wanted to do and would meet back up with us. We didn't see them until dinner after we watched fireworks together and then went back to the hotel. On the second day, we went to Epcot. They stuck around with us until the afternoon but then split up with us again to drink around the world. When we met up with them for dinner, they were clearly very tipsy in front of the kids, very immature. When we returned to the hotel that night, I knocked on their door after the kids were asleep. I asked them if they were going to spend any time with the family on this vacation and told them running around an amusement park with kids all day is exhausting and we could use help. She claimed the time they spent with us was enough, but they wanted to do their own thing too. She made a rude comment that she didn't take days off work to be our babysitter. The next 2 days we didn't speak to them at all. They did their own thing and we did ours with our kids. We didn't see them again until the flight home, which was awkward. I was so upset that they ruined the experience for our kids, who were looking forward to spending time with their aunt, that when I got home I wrote an email to our immediate family about the experience and at the end told them this was the reason we would be going low contact with sister-in-law. I included sister-in-law in the email, sent it and went to sleep. I woke up to many angry texts from my husband's family calling me ridiculous. I just assumed she would spend time with the family on a family vacation. Clearly she doesn't value family. Am I the idiot? Ha ha ha, so you and your husband are too obese to walk around with kids, so you invited your sister-in-law for the sole purpose of taking care of them, without telling them that's why they were invited? Info, did you pay for their ticket? No? What did the email say? Dear family, you should all be mad at sister-in-law. Hubby and I aren't in the best of shape, so we invited sister-in-law to come to Disney with us so they could take care of our kids because we're physically unable to do so. Then this meanie had fun on her own. Everyone should hate her. OMG, this is hysterical. You are the idiot. I'm laughing too, seriously. The fact that she actually prepared an email and sent it to other family members to create drama, I just can't. OP should have talked with sister-in-law before the holidays and asked for her help, honestly. No one is obligated to take care of your children in their free time just because it's hard for you. Again, the audacity of OP baffles me. Oh, I thought not in the best shape was referring to them being disabled or something. Missed that point, whoops. Honey, you chose to have your kids. Why are you expecting anybody to look after them because you're not in the best shape? You shouldn't have had kids in the first place if you can't keep up with parenting. Your sister-in-law is probably very grateful that you're going low contact. You seem to believe family values mean your relatives are responsible for taking care of your children at their expense. It's completely normal for couples or even friends to do their own thing for parts of the day on vacation, even on a family trip. Your sister-in-law is right. You invited them to essentially help with babysitting without letting them know, LOL, and then get butthurt when they spend a little bit of time doing adult things. You have kids, they don't. You then ruined your own time and made them spend less of their vacay with you because you confronted them about it. A real piece of work. Also, who the heck just fires off an email like that and includes the person they're complaining about? I can't stop laughing. I am so curious about what the email could possibly have said. I'm just imagining being the in-laws and waking up to that email. LMAO. I, male 29, work in an office building. I've been working here for around 3 years. There's not much more needed context, I think. One of my co-workers, female 35, is pregnant with her first baby. It was a wanted baby, and she and her husband had to go to a fertility clinic to get pregnant. I know this because she told me and other co-workers this. I congratulated her when she announced her pregnancy and such. I don't have a problem with her at all. Now she's around 7 months, her maternity leave will start soon, so our co-workers want to make a small party for her in the office. They don't plan anything fancy, just a small baby shower during our lunch break. These 2 co-workers who are planning the party came up to me yesterday and asked me to contribute money to the party. They said they would get some cupcakes, cakes, soda and that kind of stuff. I told them I won't give them money for this. If they want to plan this, it's okay, but I couldn't care less about the pregnancy and I won't spend my money on this. They argued that the pregnant co-worker would be happy for the party and that helping would make me a good co-worker. I said I don't care about their impressions of me. They called me a selfish idiot and left. My girlfriend then told me I was wrong for this because it's only a couple of $100, so it's not that hard to help out. Am I really an idiot? Edit, they asked me for $200. We're 7 on our team, including the pregnant lady, and they want it to be just us since we don't talk with people from other floors and teams. Excuse me, $200 for an in-office party? Are you serious? I was thinking like $20. What are they doing for this party that needs multiple, as I assume they asked everyone in the office, contributions of $200? You don't have any actual commitment to this person. Not the idiot. Good heavens, what's in the cupcakes near your office? Gold flakes? What you're describing makes no sense cash-wise. There's no way that cupcakes and soda in the break room cost $1,200, assuming each of the other 6 of you was asked to contribute $200. Is this perhaps for the party and a group gift? A very pricey new stroller or some such? It's your money and you choose how to spend it. No one is entitled to your money for any reason. I understand why they're miffed about it since your wording sounds like you don't care about anyone there, but you're not the idiot. You're not obligated to contribute to any in-office party as far as I'm concerned. That's a lot to ask for what they're calling a small non-fancy party during lunch. Makes me think they're pocketing some of that money. My sister, 33, and I, 31 female, each have a tween. My niece is Zoe and my son is Cole. Zoe and Cole are very close. Zoe's dad was my childhood best friend. He and my sister got married a couple of years before Zoe was born and he died when she was 4 weeks old. After that, my sister needed help, so I had Zoe with me during the day because I was home while my boyfriend at that time, and now husband, worked. So Cole and Zoe have grown up very close and are like siblings more than cousins. The name Ruby has been brought up a few times over the years. Cole told me Ruby was mean to one of the kids in his friend group. Another time I heard from Cole and Zoe that Ruby got into trouble for pouring water over a bunch of kids' lunches, including theirs. Another time she made fun of a child who started wearing glasses and didn't get cool ones but more bulky ones because the parents couldn't afford something more stylish. There were other times her name was brought up as well. About 2 years ago, my sister mentioned she was dating someone and said she didn't know if it was serious or not. Then, a year ago, she introduced him to everyone and his daughter, Ruby. My sister remarried 4 months after introducing them to everyone. Zoe and Cole were not happy. Ruby wasn't happy either, but wasn't saying anything to me about it directly. My sister was aware of the issues with Ruby and the fact that there were some long-standing bad feelings there. She wasn't deterred by this, and instead, she tried to pretend they were all new to each other and attempted to get Zoe and Cole to include Ruby in their play, and for them to be the 3 musketeers instead of 2 peas in a pod. Zoe told her mom it would never happen and that Ruby didn't belong in the family. She got punished harshly for that. Cole told my sister he didn't like Ruby, and just because he was Ruby's stepmom now, it didn't change anything. My sister looked for me to back her up and tell him it changed everything, but I didn't. She told me I should have had her back. A few days went by, and then she told me we needed to talk, and said I needed to support getting the kids to bond, because she has no extended family and she's having a rough time in school. I asked my sister what she meant by that. She was reluctant to say. I wondered if her husband was getting calls about how Ruby treats other kids. She didn't deny it. I told her she couldn't erase what Zoe and Cole thought of Ruby, and she needed to accept that Ruby hasn't proven to be a friend to them, and they have more history with her being mean to others than her being her stepdaughter. She said they're tweens and have so much more room to grow. I told her this was true, but you can't ask people to like someone who's mean to them and their friends. My sister said I'm being too hard on Ruby, and I was an idiot for defending Ruby being excluded. Not the idiot. Your sister and her husband need to face up and deal with Ruby and her behavioral issues before trying to force her onto Zoe and Cole. If Ruby continues on this path, she'll go from being a mean little girl to being a mean adult. She obviously has issues that need to be addressed, and maybe a therapist could assist her. Until then, your sister needs to back off trying to force the whole happy family scenario, or the other kids will just dislike and resent her more. As I told the principal, who tried to make my nice kids play with the class bully, her having no friends is a direct consequence of her behaviour. You have to help her get whatever help she needs to be a good person, and my children do not have to play with her. You forcing them makes you a bully too. I will not tolerate anyone who forces my children to engage in behaviors or situations that make them uncomfortable. That's a dangerous precedent to set for many reasons. End of story. Your sister is the idiot. Yep, just because it's easier to police well-behaved kids doesn't mean that's what's going to fix the problem. Ruby isn't having a rough time in school, she's running a one-girl terror campaign. The other kids aren't going to bond with her or be able to stop her. What's going to be more likely is Zoe is going to get blamed for Ruby's behavior as her sister. So be prepared for your niece basically moving in with you. My sister remarried 4 months after introducing them to everyone. That was a mistake by itself. Your sister is a massive idiot. How long did you basically raise her kid? Did she even talk to Zoe about any of this? You should not have your sister's back here. You should be protecting your kids. I, 23 female, have 3 kids, a toddler girl and a toddler boy, and my youngest son is an infant. It's been hard taking care of 3 kids on my own, and their dad isn't in the picture anymore as he's decided to go a different path in his life. I live with my mom and my sister, 25, who goes to college and barely works. She goes to work maybe 15 hours a week, and in her free time she does nothing at home, and I want to mention she does her college courses online, so 75% of the time she's at home with me. Yesterday I needed a break and my mom never wanted to help, so I reasonably asked my sister, who said she didn't want to do it. I asked why and she had no reasonable explanation, and when I kept asking, she told me it was because she was going to watch her friend's daughter in a few hours. The time came and she never babysat this friend's daughter. At that point, I was so frustrated that I was being lied to that I just again asked her if she'd watched them, and I just put my 2 oldest in her room and I left with my son, and I told her I needed a break and if she loved me, she'd do this for me. My sister thinks I overstepped my boundaries, but I don't see how I could have when I'm mom of 3 and reasonably needed a break when she wasn't doing anything. Am I the idiot for asking my sister to babysit my kids? 3 kids that fast, that young, with a guy who just changed his mind? Is this real? If so, you are the idiot on steroids. It's none of your damn business why she doesn't want to babysit. She's a full-time college student also holding down a part-time job. Apologize to her. I think it is real. I mean, she has 3 kids with a deadbeat and she's 23. I don't think she knows how to make good decisions in her life. This is probably mild compared to every decision she makes daily. And then her kids are only 1 year in between each of them. These aren't planned pregnancies. These are people's inability to control themselves. Oof. Am I the idiot for asking my sister to babysit my kids, and then I just put my 2 oldest in her room and left with my son? You didn't ask your sister to babysit. Instead, you abandoned your kids in her care against her will. If I were your sister, I would have called CPS and informed them you'd just abandoned 2 children without supervision and had them remove the children from the home. Add, with no justifiable reason. The reason is that sister didn't get knocked up. OP, you made the decision to have 3 children, not your sister. If you want a break and no one is willing to help, you'll have to get a babysitter another way. Nobody needs to justify not babysitting your children, and yet you demand a reason. That is why your sister lied to you. I can only guess that you wouldn't have stopped asking her if she just said she didn't want to, which she has every right to. This is a tough take, no matter how you spin it, but I'm not entirely convinced I'm in the wrong. Now, my wife is a cat person, I'm a dog person. She has 3 cats, and I have a dog. I interact with her cats and think they're pretty cool, though it's taken them a while to warm up to me. In contrast, she truly doesn't like my dog, for reasons that are justified. I simply have a higher patience and tolerance level, whereas my wife expects perfect listening skills, which is unrealistic. Though I'm willing to admit she's never asked me to rehome her outside of one occurrence a while ago, which was said out of frustration. Now on to the issue. My wife is currently pregnant with our 4th and last. She is a stay-at-home mom, homeschools our kids, grows our own food, and generally keeps the house clean. This isn't due to me asking or expecting it from her, but she just generally enjoys it. She only just became a stay-at-home mom when the global issue hit, and honestly, life has been fantastic. Less stress, she even says the same, but again she's currently pregnant. As a result, she can no longer clean the cat box. The kids, triplets, are too young to clean the cat box. It gets stinky quick and gives her migraines. Because of my long hours and generally being completely exhausted when I get home, I usually forget to clean it myself. I know that's a me problem, but given that it's a safety issue for my wife, I think rehoming them, at least until the end of the pregnancy, is the best option, so I suggested it to her. She's 20 weeks, so it wouldn't be a god-awful length of time to rehome them before she got them back anyhow. She lost it, however. She told me I'm selfish in expecting her to rehome her cats because I don't want to pick up one chore around the house. That truly isn't the case, though. I truly forget because of how exhausted I am when I get home. She then stated that it would be a cold damn day when she rehomes her cats when I get to keep a dog that no one wants but me. I will admit that the kids have zero interest in the dog, like none whatsoever, but they all love the cat, so maybe I am in the wrong. However, I was truly thinking of it from a safety aspect of things, and she just seems to think I'm being selfish. Am I the idiot? Edit, she cares for my dog all day when I'm at work. She does all the feeding, walking and training when I'm gone too, etc. She does all of it. The dog is only 2.5, so she still has a lot of slightly unfavourable behaviours. But she's home all day with my dog. She never asked me to clean the litter box either. She was throwing on a mask and gloves, as well as opening all the windows and a fan, and trying to do it herself until I reiterated its hazard multiple times. You are the idiot. She's pregnant while caring for triplets, homeschools, trains the dog, grows their food, and generally keeps the house clean? And you can't remember to clean the cat box for the next 20 weeks because you are too tired? Wow, maybe she needs to rehome you. But she generally enjoys it, and he forgets because of generally being completely exhausted when he gets home. Yeah, I'd say he's generally an idiot. Seriously, stop acting incompetent. Everyone is tired at the end of the day, so put a reminder on your phone and scoop the damn litter before your saint of a wife leaves your butt. But I have ADHD and I have set reminders for myself, alarms, but after working 10 to 14 hours a day, I usually dismiss the alarm with the intention of doing it, but then space it soon after dismissing the alarm. So I was honestly recently diagnosed and still trying to navigate, and there are 3 boxes total, 1 for each cat. So the problem is actually that your ADHD coping mechanism is no longer working for you. Sounds like a good time for you to find a new method. This is just absolutely pathetic behaviour. Your wife is incredible. She does so much, and frankly, she should be expecting more from you regarding childcare and housework and training your goddamn dog. But now that there's one chore you need to do because she's pregnant, you want her to get rid of her pets? Fundamentally reorient your approach to your home life in your marriage unless you're excited about the prospect of a divorce. Geez, guy.